A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome all viewers to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Polderbaan at the far end, where for the first time in weeks it looks like departures will be taking place for several hours. I'm thrilled to be filming some departures for the first time in a while. The weather, as you guys can see in the ticker, we have wind blowing from the west-northwest. Visibility is good, 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 1,200 feet, broken clouds at 1,800 feet. It is a bit colder, 14 degrees Celsius, so that translates to 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Still early, my math skills are not on par yet. Apologies. I see a lot of chat going on already. Goedemorgen and good morning to one and all. Wilma, goedemorgen. Dirk, goedemorgen. Good morning. Goedemorgen. Danny, goedemorgen. Dirk, goedemorgen. JD, good morning. Infinity, good morning. Koen, goedemorgen. Justin, good morning. Leen, goedemorgen. Sander, goedemorgen. Good morning. Hubs, good morning. So many messages. I love planes, good morning. Row Aviation, good morning. Marja, goedemorgen. Remco, goedemorgen. Leo, goedemorgen. Erwin, goedemorgen. Edward, goedemorgen. Apple ASIC, good morning. Rafa Pilot, good morning. Loco, good morning. Benny, goedemorgen. Michel, goedemorgen. Triradile, good evening. Clear to land, morgen. Julia, goedemorgen. Justin, goedemorgen. Otto, goedemorgen. Jet Music Travel Channel, good morning, goedemorgen. Stefan, morgen. Maju, goedemorgen. Goedemorgen. Marcel, goedemorgen, good morning. Timo, goedemorgen. Mrs. Professor, good morning. And thank you. So early in the chat already. A new member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Mrs. Professor. Good morning. And thank you so much for your support. Arjan, goedemorgen. Jarno, goedemorgen. Terry, good morning. Well, I hope I'm now up to speed with the live chat. Let's crouch up from behind the laptop. Go to the camera. Ooh, getting a little lightheaded. We have two runways being used for departures at the moment. Polderbaan, runway 36 left, but also the Zwanenburgbaan, which is center. At the moment, the only runway used for arrivals is Cargolux runway 06. Oh, and I'm sorry, I said that the wind was blowing from west. What did I say? West-northwest, but it is east-northeast. Different direction, I think, just for today. The exception to the rule of an extended period of time with wind blowing from the south. KLM triple landing in the background by the looks of it. Yeah, that's the flight arriving from Johannesburg. Ah, Julia, ook vanmiddag even naar de Polderbaan. Gezellig. I think you should be good for departures all day today. When you go to Polderbaan. Richard, goedemorgen. Ian, good morning. Afrodite, goedemorgen. Alright, interesting. Sandra already saying that everything is coming to the polder at the moment. Could it be that they have closed center in the meantime? This is KLM flight 1473 coming our way, going to Glasgow, Embraer 190. This particular airplane, 9 years old, first flight was in November 2013. Let's see if I can still pan camera to the left. Now luckily the wind has calmed down significantly compared to yesterday. So back to filming without image stabilizer. At least that will prevent the over and undershoots that you see when having that enabled. Now let's have a look and see what visibility is doing. The airplane is already quite high and still visible. Mark, goedemorgen. Haast Alman, goedemorgen. Right, so the clouds are relatively high up today, it seems like. This is what it looks like macroscopically looking to the north. If you look to the west, you can even see some openings in the clouds. This is looking to the east. Where another Embraer just took off. Now you might also be hearing Russel. Russel making a ruckus, already up. Now in the water it's a bit more quiet, which lately has been typical for the early mornings. Also looking on the other side. In general, it is still quiet over here. We do have Pedro over there, who is all the way over from the United States for the weekend. Also has a channel, PA Aviation. We do also have some movement. No, that's not the police on the other side. The firefighters already did their round this morning. They already tested their equipment. Thomas, EU, goedemorgen, Big Al, good morning, doing well. I feel very fit but fatigued, if that's possible. Hope you're well too, Big Al. Bisnovald, goedemorgen, good morning. Mark, goedemorgen. Anto, bonsoir, bonjour. It's not yet evening. I have to think of... what was it? Mr. Robot, bonsoir, Elliot. But it is still morning and your name isn't Elliot. Okay, whoa. Looking right of me, I do see an airplane take off from center, so center is still in use. Much I can say with a high degree of certainty. Peter, goedemorgen, good morning. Alex, good morning. Servus. I did bring an umbrella along, well, two basically. We did have the potential for some droplets later today, but looking out to the north, I don't think we'll be seeing any rain anytime soon. Shamrock, flight 603, returning to Dublin, A320, Aer Lingus. Twelve-year-old airplane. lovely match yesterday against Scotland. Particularly when the match was over, I had to say it was awesome to hear the entire stadium sing along with the Cranberries when they played Zombie. So parallel departure still in progress. Oh, and it looked like, yeah, like that airplane is already occasionally running into a few clouds. Hey there, Betty. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Doing well. Thank you for asking. Hope everybody is doing all right this morning. Well, at least it is morning still over here in this part of the world. Miguel, good morning. Stanley, goedemorgen. Frank, goedemorgen. E2 Embraer 195 up next, going to Inverness, KLM flight 923. Brand new airplane, and this time around it is really brand new. The first flight of this airplane was June this year. Man, aren't they quiet? If you compare that with the 320 that took off before it, such a difference. Hey there, Nestor, good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome to all other viewers who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan today, used for departures as runway 36 left. And we have an airplane holding short at a location that is a bit atypical. So I'm wondering what is going on there. That's the Embraer 190 to Newcastle, and now it is continuing, moving to the runway. Ah, nice. Aphrodite can also look along, watch along, see all the dates and ages of the airplanes. Congratulations. Yeah, I think it's bang for your buck. It's only a few euros per year. But it does give that little bit of extra additional information that is so handy. Now, looking on flight radar, I do see a few bigger birds on the move. The first airplane to come this way looks like an A330-200 going to Sint Maarten. Now, wouldn't we all want to be on board that plane? Embraer 190 on its way to Newcastle. SkyTeam livery. Well, it looks cloudy, but zooming out it does look like it's more high clouds than low level clouds. Some openings, it looks like it's opening up even more. Sun also trying to get out from behind the clouds, doing its best. And I think our next airplane, the A330, is on its way over here. So this would be a visualization of the pipeline. The first next airplane, KLM A330-200, going to Sint Maarten, KLM flight 787. Mol gedaan. Ekarati, good morning. Who is tuning? Oh, whoa. Good evening. Tuning in from Indonesia. So it's already late afternoon, if not early evening already. And you're absolutely right, Mrs. Professor. Over the last couple of weeks, I think only on one or two occasions, just for a few hours, the wind temporarily switched to northerly wind. But it seems like today might be the first day in a long time, several weeks, I think maybe even a month, that, well, as far as I can tell, it's going to be a northern wind today all day. So it has been a while. But since I wasn't sure about how long it was going to stay this way, I figured let's just set up over here where I'm also filming the arrival. So should the wind switch back to southerly wind, at least when they were to change to arrivals, we would still have a good location to be filming from. Now, yesterday, of course, I cut the stream short because at some point the Polderbaan closed, and wouldn't you believe it, as soon as I had taken everything down and was walking back to my car, had a look on flight radar, saw that the first airplanes back to the Polderbaan were already coming in. Typical. Rewish, goedemorgen. Who will be departing to Suriname with SLM in a few days. Nice, the A340. Being on board the A340 does give you a lot of time to take in the surroundings from low altitude when climbing out. So that's nice. Good morning, Jerry. Oslo breeze. Well, definitely a more northerly, cooler breeze blowing today, that's for sure. Happy that I had to put something in the garbage container in my front yard this morning and already noticed that it had cooled down compared with yesterday, so was doubting should I go out in just my hoodie or maybe just the parka, and I'm glad I chose the latter, particularly with the wind. Better to be a bit too warm than a bit too cold. Thomas, goedemorgen, good morning. Right, well, traffic is coming and the A330 is pulling up. KLM flight 787, A330-200, destination Sint Maarten. The airplane is 17 years old. The first flight was in July of the year 2006. Hey Winsko, good evening. Dale, good morning, good to see you again. Theo, goedemorgen. Jippe, goedemorgen. Morning, landing slowly. Ah, you managed to get the A340 on film yesterday. Congratulations. Peter K, good morning. Good to see you again. RDW, goedemorgen. Hey Don, goedemorgen. Good morning. And another E2 spooling up, the mini 777 going to Birmingham, KLM flight 1423. Brand new airplane, started flying in January of this year. And Jippe, I have no idea. I saw one 747, I believe, between 11:30 and 12, but otherwise I haven't checked in detail, so I'll happily get surprised today. Jordan, good morning. Ricardo, goedemorgen. Peter PDK, good morning. Good to see you again. No time to waste. It's getting busy on the other side. 737-800 going to Copenhagen is next. KLM flight 1127. This particular airplane is 12 years old. Had its first flight in May 2011. Got a triple taking off from center. That is going to Johannesburg, KLM flight 591. 2 years old, first flight January 2021. In the meantime, another Embraer taking off over here. Embraer 175 going to Alessand, which I totally mispronounced probably. 5-year-old airplane, first flight November 2017. And I think, is that the other quiet airplane type with the geared turbofan engines? I think it might be. Let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, Air Baltic. So we already heard the quietness of the E2 Embraer 195 and its, well, its engine cousin, I should say, will be coming next. Standard livery by the looks of it. Also the bird controller, what is he doing? K4 Raptor Ranger just idling there, it looks like. This is Air Baltic flight 858 going to Tallinn, coming up in a moment. And Jerry, thank you so much for your super chat. saying no wheelie timing today. I will time landing gear retraction. Well, at least when the A330 takes off, you can set the clock and go for a drink or a cup of coffee, or maybe visit the toilet or something. By the time you come back, you should be able to press the stop button again. Right, this airplane, 4 years old. I think the A220 can extend and retract the landing gear several times in the time span it takes the A330 and the A340 to just retract once. Once again, thank you for your super chat, Jerry. Giggles Constantine, good morning. René, goedemorgen. Danny, goedemorgen. And the Lithuanian flag is next indeed. There you go. Hey there, David. Dave A010, goedemorgen, good morning. JW Slijm, the wind is coming from the east, northeast. Now, another A220 from Air Baltic up next. This one going to Tampere or whatever, how you should pronounce it. Finland, not the Baltic States. Lithuanian flag livery, 5 years old, first flight August 2018. Now, whether you like the livery or not, it is striking, that much we can say with certainty. Same goes for the play livery. It stands out. Taking its time to get off the ground. But when it does clear the ground, it is climbing nicely. And in the meantime, JD, a big thank you to you for gifting 5 AMS Live memberships. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, the 5 new members who were gifted a membership by JD. And JD, thank you once again. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. All right, well. Visualization of the wind, as you can see, blowing from... The smoke is blowing towards us a little bit. Meanwhile, another little airplane is coming our way. Embraer 190, going to Kristiansand, KLM. Quite high as it passed by. giving me a little workout. Very nice. Elton, good morning. Martijn, goedemorgen. Hey there, preacher, good morning. Good to see you again. Now, there was a little splash in the water, but I think that was a fish, not so much birds or anything. Got some Sunday morning cyclists on our way. Practicing, doing some Sunday morning cardio. It is otherwise quiet over here. Got a pedestrian walking. Another cyclist is coming this way. There are a few people at the main Spottersplaats parking place already, as you guys can see. In the middle, behind the cyclist. Now, A330 and also a bird control vehicle with the flashlights on. So, I'm thinking they're doing a little check. Which is also probably why the Delta A330 is holding short. Oh yeah, it's like a Christmas tree. All lights are lit. So the bird controller apparently is doing a little runway check. Often you see that happen just before one of the other runways closes. So is this an indication that very soon this runway is going to be the only runway used for departures? We'll find out soon enough. Meanwhile, the A330 is still holding short. They're all waiting until the bird controller is done. And you can see, you could see already that we are getting a little queue formation over here. So it is getting ever more busy. The bird controller just turned back. Lights are still on. And you could also see an airplane take off from center in the meantime. Or at least there was one making a bit of speed. Where is it? There it is. Is that privilege style? Might be. A bit hard for me to see with the backlight. You guys can probably tell way better than I can. Could also have a look on Flight Radar, of course. That was very much involved with following the airplane. Alright. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Right, Delta Airlines Flight 143 going to Seattle. This might be might get a little loud. A330-300. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in January 2016. Right, well, this airplane is going to Seattle. The other flight arriving from Seattle later this morning is containing Yunus, the one guy that lit the A330 from Delta like a Christmas tree with 3 torches a couple of weeks ago. Too bad we aren't going to be able to see his arrival up close. The one day that they reversed the runway usage. But there you go. Unfortunately, you can't have everything. There's always some uncertainty when it comes to the weather. Hey Rick, goedemorgen. Master Meester. British Airways going to London Heathrow up next. Flight 429, A320, 11 years old. First flight December 2011. Alright, Jerry says that the retraction of the landing gears averages 6 seconds from takeoff to gear door opening. Oh, the opening is that from the moment the nose gear is from off the ground, or if the entire airplane is off the ground? Embraer 190 going to Gdansk. Departures still take place from center. So it is still parallel departures at the moment. There's a queue forming over here, so definitely not slowing down here just yet. Right, next up, Air Baltic, the third one. This one, again, standard livery, going to Riga. Airbus A220-300, originally Bombardier C series, hence BCS3. BCS3 denotes the 300 series. BCS1 is the 100 series. The airplane is a year old. First flight was in August 2022. Alrighty. Got some heavies coming, ladies and gentlemen. No, that's not so heavy. But look. Triple Dreamliner 330 Nice. And good morning to all viewers who have joined in the meantime. Welcome to the show. Oh, and I do see some ducks right now. Would you believe it? Here and there. 3 ducks. Alright, let's turn around the camera. There is an A330 Neo coming, and it is opening up, at least to the north. Looking to the west, it also looks pretty okay. Looks like I won't be needing the umbrella after all. Delta Airlines Flight 57, A330 Neo going to Salt Lake City. Brand new airplane, first flight April 2023. Will do, Lieve. Have to keep mentioning the glide slope every now and then. Well, this is like a reverse glide slope, isn't it? It's just not a set angle. It varies from airplane type to airplane type. But if you play this in reverse, it looks like it very much looks like a glide slope. So that is 1 gentleman duck and 2 lady ducks. What's the left one? Or is that also a lady duck? That's a gentleman duck by the looks of it. Or alright. We have a Dreamliner spooling up. Back to autofocus. KLM Flight 601, 787-10 Dreamliner going to LAX. Airplane is 3 years old. First flight August 2020. That's an A737, okay. KLM Flight 747 going to Bogota, 777-200. "19 years old, first flight September 2004. Another Dreamliner spooling up. KLM flight 655, 7879 Dreamliner going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. 7-year-old airplane, first flight October 2015. Well, Rick, I am fully thrilled that me almost being able to film Max has contributed to his third World Championship. Obviously, that was the final push to have him win the third title. I'm looking forward to being able to almost film him many more times to come in the future as a reigning world champion. Right, we have an airplane lined up, but is that, oh yeah, it is moving. I was about to say, is that the one going to take off first, or maybe this one, but Ryanair going to Dublin, flight 421, 737-800, 17 years old, first flight October 2005. Center still being used, so we still have parallel departures in progress. However, the next airplane is already spooling up. KLM flight 1363 going to Warsaw, another 737-800. 24 years old, first flight April 1999. And indeed, Jerry, you can see the throttle action via the puffs of smoke. What you can also see is when you have, for instance, very old 777. I think United still has a few that are quite old. You can definitely see that the engines are a bit more smoky than the newer ones. Now, the exodus to the Americas has begun, it seems like. This is another 787-10 Dreamliner, KLM flight 605 going to San Francisco. The airplane is a year old, first flight was in June 2022. In the meantime, as you guys could see just now, the sun is slowly but surely coming out from behind the clouds. Nicely illuminating the airplane from this angle. In the meantime, if you like what you see and you haven't done so already, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you haven't done so. Now, this is particularly interesting. Look at the... I'm not sure if the camera can pick up the nice contrast. It looks pretty sweet in real life. I'm not sure if the camera can convey the contrast that I'm seeing over here in real life. Right, this one, another potentially loud one. Airbus A330-200 going to Houston. KLM flight 661. This airplane is 18 years old. The first flight was in August 2005. And you can see that the sun is really coming out. Nice. Bit of warmth, well needed. Not sure if you guys heard that as well. Some splashing in the water. More birds, more duckies. So we've got two over there, or are those just the same, having migrated a little bit further to the north? Because I'm not seeing the other ducks over here anymore, so maybe it's just the same birds over again. Right, spooling up is a 777-200 going to Quito. KLM flight 755. It's a 777-200 ER, 16 years old, first flight January 2007. We've got a queue of 4 or 5 airplanes over here. The labels are a little bit placed over each other on my little postage stamp of flight radar. As we're waiting, and the little airplane has to wait for the wake turbulence to dissipate. A big thank you to JD for gifting yet another 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for that, JD. Above and beyond, really uncalled for, but that doesn't mean I am not happy and appreciate it. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new AMS Live members who got gifted a membership by JD. Now, folks, as Jendrosek was already mentioning, lipstick livery coming up. Hey there, Daniel. Good morning. Doing well. Thank you for asking. The next airplane's pulling up, 737-700 going to Göteborg. KLM flight 1155. Hey there, Vinny. Goedemorgen, good morning. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, good morning to you too. We have a few small airplanes taking off, but I also see that there is a triple coming next. Well, coming soon, I should say, not coming next. The next airplane, KLM flight 1073, 737-900 going to Manchester. This particular airplane is 19 years old already. First flight April 2004. Which, when you say 2004, doesn't sound like too long ago, but when you realize that in a year from now it's 20 years ago, man, doesn't time go fast. Hey Jens, goedemorgen. Marianne, goedemorgen. Oh, en tot gauw. Well, speaking about quickly, the next airplane is CRJ. SAS flight 552 going to Copenhagen. The airplane 12 years old, first flight December 2010. Alright, up next. Now we get to see the lipstick plane, or yeah, that is it. Norwegian. And the picture shows a face on the tail. It doesn't mention, flight radar doesn't mention it being a special livery or anything. A MAX 8 going to Copenhagen. So expect not a lot of noise. The airplane is 1 year old. First flight March 2022. Norwegian flight 83539. Big bird behind it. More big birds behind it. That is the lipstick airplane going to Copenhagen. Next up is going to be a 777-200ER going to Lima in Peru, KLM flight 743. No time to waste. Spooling up already. Niels asks if Level is still flying from Schiphol. Well, I haven't seen them since I've started the channel almost a year ago, so if they do, then they're flying on time schedules that make me miss them. I don't think they do operate anymore to Schiphol. I think the Wikipedia page of Schiphol is pretty accurate when it comes to the operators flying to and from Schiphol. If it isn't mentioned over there, then the answer is most likely no. More heavies taking off, also from center, which is still in progress. Or in use, I should say, so parallel departure still in progress. However, we are not given a lot of time to linger because the A330 from Delta is also spooling up, going to Detroit, Michigan, flight 135. This airplane is 16 years old, first flight November 2006. Oh. And Vueling indeed, Niels is still flying regularly to Schiphol. And Rick, I'm not sure if Vueling is using level planes. That could be the case. But officially, they are Vueling, at least looking on flight radar. Whenever you see a flight. Okay. A320 up next, British Airways, flight 2825, A320 going to London Gatwick. The airplane is 16 years old, first flight March 2007. Hey, Gosse, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you again. Now I'm seeing duckies in the water over there, and I'm no longer seeing them behind me. So have they stealthily migrated back to the south just now? You're never seeing them on both sides, both north of me and south of me simultaneously. So I've got a sneaky suspicion that these are the same birds that I'm continuously filming. They're just playing with me. Sunday morning madness. And you guys are asking me if something is already in the nets. I have no idea. Spoke with Rudolf, the police officer, the day before yesterday. He said it was for catching eel. And I'm not sure if there's something in the nets already. I do see that the ducks have increased in number. I was about to say increased in size, but they're not bodybuilders. There are now 5 of them, if I counted correctly. And this would be CRJ number 2, if I counted that correctly as well. Going to Stockholm. Flight 556. 6-year-old airplane, first flight August 2017. Okay, Big Al is signing off. Thanks for joining, Big Al. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Hope to see you again soon. Beautiful machines. Now things are definitely opening up more. However, looks like a triple in the Sky Team livery. Yeah, it's the bouncy 777 probably. Just taken off from center. Going to Cape Town. Alright, well. We're still waiting for the next traffic to come to the Polderbaan, so let's have a look and see how this triple is turning back to the south. Visibility is good, it is opening up a little bit. Hey there Gav, morning! Doing well? Hope the same goes for you, buddy. Jeffrey asks, what might happen if the wheels fail to tuck in for luck, or better term? Let me have a look. You mean when the gear doesn't retract? I think they will probably try to land again. The same happens in reverse when the gear doesn't extend. They'll just do a belly landing. FedEx 757 recently did that in the United States. Now you do sometimes see that the gear doesn't retract immediately. That often has to do with the brakes having gotten too warm and needing some air cooling first. Now in the meantime, we have 3 more airplanes coming up. The next one is KLM Flight 1009 going to London Heathrow, Boeing 737-800, 23 years old, first flight August 2000. Taking its time to take off, but there you go, airborne. Well, it's good to see that the E2 Embraers all are working again. We see them quite regularly, and here's yet another one, KLM Flight 1779 going to Hamburg. This is a 1-year-old airplane that had its first flight in October 2021. Right, Delta Airlines Flight 73 to Atlanta, Georgia. Coming this way. Embraer 190 taken off. Going to Zurich. No time to waste. No time to explore. Not today. Delta A330-300, Atlanta, Georgia, destination. Flight 73. The airplane is 18 years old, first flight July 2005. Visibility still quite good. Let me take this moment to have a look at the METAR, see what the wind has been doing. I think it hasn't changed significantly, but we are awaiting the next airplanes, and that gives us a few minutes to update the ticker. Wind now 09008 knots, so wind from the east varying between 050 and 120. Center still being used for departures. Triple taking off as we speak. I'm pasting the latest METAR as we speak. There we go. KLM flight 879 going to Bengaluru, as it is called in flight radar. 777-200, 19 years old, first flight November 2003. Interesting that it now flies to the northeast. I am expecting a turn further to the east, if not southeast, but there you go, it keeps flying away from us. But you can see visibility quite well at the moment. It has opened up nicely. So we would have had a good view of the glide slope had arrivals taken place today on this runway, but that's not the case. We're waiting for departures. The next airplane to depart, is it coming already? Bird controller is busy patrolling, probably inspecting. Hey Avi, guten Morgen. Lance, good morning. Jos, goedemorgen. No airplanes in the immediate vicinity. That's interesting. The only airplane now taking off, Air Baltic. So that is the fourth and I think the last one of Air Baltic. I think they fly to all three capitals of the Baltic states and Tampere in Finland from Amsterdam. Or at least I should say they fly to Amsterdam from those four locations. Of course they're operating from over there, not from over here. And I think this is the fourth one and final one. So no more Air Baltic after this one, I think. Hey Steven, morning. Cheers, thanks for the kind words, buddy. Glad you're enjoying the show, hope everybody is. And Ramkas Play says, looks like they are going to land on Polderbaan now. Well, wouldn't that be something? Jerry, have you got enough Jaeger? Well, the wind is easterly. It was 090 just now in the latest METAR. So this is where the wind is coming from. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were going to switch it up. Which is exactly why I was going to set up over here, because I wasn't too sure about how long it was going to be the way it is. Hey there, Brussels Aviation, good morning. All other viewers who have joined as well, good morning. And yeah, I do see, if you look on flight radar, looking from in the northeast, you see airplanes flying base, either to center or to Polderbaan. Are they also going to open up center for arrivals, parallel arrivals, or... I'm crouching behind my laptop once again, have a quick look to see what LVNL is saying. If they are... They're probably behind still. Yeah, they are still behind. Okay, so whether or not it's going to be arrivals on... Okay, which runways will be used for departures then? Are they going to use runway 27? Are there airplanes going to runway 27? What's the American flight 203 to Philadelphia doing? It is taxiing this way, so that is probably going to runway 27 then? So, just trying to figure out what to fill in the ticker. Runway usage, landing 24, 18 right, taking off 27 then in a few minutes. Alright, Mrs. Professor, thank you so much for joining again. Sweet dreams, hope to see you soon. Well, conditions for seeing the glide slope are pretty good, so beautiful glide slope shots coming. Let's have a look, see what yeah, American is going. The American Dreamliner to Philly is going to the threshold of 27, so then they will probably do arrivals on 06, 18 right, and takeoffs on 27, secondary takeoffs 18 left? Question mark? Runway 09, indeed. Right. So runway 09 for departures and arrivals. Polderbaan, Cargolux. Let's see. Give it a few minutes. It will become apparent soon enough. First glide slope shot of the day. And talking about shots, let me have a shot of water. Hey Frits, goedemorgen. Alright, landing still on Cargolux, landings on Polderbaan, departures Buitenveldert. So it looks like that is going to be it. Right, the first landing airplane of today, KLM flight 1106, 737-800, arriving from Stockholm. It was only short-lived, the departures, unfortunately. I was having fun, first time in a while. Back to the same old. So yeah, you guys tell me, are we going to see 747s? What time is the A380 coming? I checked only the departures this morning. Two more airplanes visible. Embraer 190 arrival from Gothenburg, Embraer 175 arrival from Frankfurt. Okay, thank you guys. A380 estimated around 1:15, so normal timing. Are we going to see any 747s before the A380? And yesterday we had wind from the west, now it's wind from the east. You can see the crabbing is in the opposite direction. It looks like the airplane is pointing away from us. And thank you, Christian. 747 in 30 minutes. Where's it coming from? Because if it is coming from the south, it might land on Cargolux, looking at the runway usage right now. And LVNL still hasn't updated their website, it looks like, so... I'm curious what will be the secondary runway for departures if 09 is going to be the primary runway. Well, at least we are getting our daily dose of butt shots. Here's number one. Alright, Cargolux coming in. Thanks, Christian. Arriving from Miami. That is nice. Okay, so they just updated it. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, so it is official. Cargolux, Polderbaan for arrivals. 09 for departures with easterly wind. And arrivals, runways 06 and 18 right. All right. Another one of those days. Hey, Miss Wolves, good morning. Good to see you too. Hope all is well. So yeah, folks, if you just joined, and you're thinking, hey, the thumbnail was indicative of departures, why am I now watching arrivals? That is because we started out with departures, in fact, and now since a minute or 15 or so, I think, the runway use has changed back to arrivals, as has been the case for so long now. So unfortunately today also proved only to be a short-lived moment where departures took place from the Cargolux. The good news is, however, that we are going to see Yunus's arrival from Seattle on Delta probably very well. So that is the silver lining. if you guys, regular viewers, might recall, we had a viewer that departed to the United States not too long ago, and he was in business, set the entire A330 ablaze with 3 torches, and he's coming back. It's the Delta flight from Seattle. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. I'm expecting an A330 lit like a Christmas tree. This is Aegean, arriving from Athens, A320neo, flight 3624. Flight time has been 3 hours and 11 minutes thus far. The airplane is 3 years old. First flight of this airplane was in December 2019. Hey Georgios, good morning. And apologies Frank, it is good news. Here we have some Greek airmen. They probably are not in possession of Sivan and Madonna with Sibik, you know what, from by Van Klomp. I think those belong to the British airmen. I am watching you is informing us that today too the Orange Pride will be arriving. We'll be able to see it. Right now the next airplane to come to the Polderbaan is looking like KLM flight 1198, arriving from Stavanger. In the meantime, it is opening up nicely. We began the morning with mostly overcast, although there were a few openings here and there, but as the morning progresses it is getting more open in all directions actually, so that is nice. Now looking at our proxy windsock in the distance, you can see how the wind is blowing the smoke towards us, but also a bit to the left of us, so easterly wind. And departures now take place from runway 09. And similar to how it's hard to see a lot of detail from airplanes landing on runway 27, so too it's not ideal to see details from departing airplanes on runway 09 from over here. Okay, Remco is informing us that only the planes from the north and east are going to the Polderbaan, which means that the 747 that is coming from the west will probably land on Cargolux then, which also is more convenient for cargo planes since their parking is also adjacent to the runway. The upshot, the silver lining is that we are able to see some arrivals that normally get to go to the center runway when two landing runways are in operation. But it also probably means that we are not going to see Yunus land after all, First it was because the runway was used for departures, and now it looks like all the airplanes arriving from the United States from the west will land on runway 06 then. Hey Ross, morning, good to see you. Colin, back again. HK215, good morning. Owie, owie. Good morning. This is KLM flight 1198, Embraer 190, arriving from Stavanger. Flight time 1 hour and a minute. The airplane 13 years old. First flight August 2010. As you guys can see, it is crabbing, but it is crabbing away from us. Often the wind is from the west. Southwest, I think, is the wind direction the wind blows from on most days. Or at least the biggest number of days of the year. So when you do see arrivals on this runway, you often see the airplane nose pointing towards us, the viewer, standing on the right hand side. Meanwhile, Mitchell, good morning. And thank you so much for your super chat. Mitchell writes, just got off work once again. As always, how is everyone today? Well, I'm doing fine for one. Hope the same goes for you. It is a day with changing conditions. We began this morning with departures and now it is arrivals. I do see a 777 that is flying base en turning final. En ander onderwerp staat achter me. Goedemorgen. Hey, goedemorgen.
1,5 maand stonden we ook achter je.
Sorry?
We stonden 1,5 maand geleden ook zo achter je.
Oh, leuk. Leuk. Let's see. Can we see that triple already? I am not yet seeing it visually. Another group of cyclists also passing by. Let's just do a little scan. I think maybe we see it sooner with a camera than with our bare eyes. Now, I think, even though it has opened up to the north, I think that the 777 is still a bit too far out. Squinting my eyes, trying to see the airplane already, but despite its... Oh wait, now I see it. I think that it just appeared from out of the clouds. Those few clouds are were still in the way, now they aren't anymore. China Southern Cargo, flight 2571, 777 freighter arriving from China from Guangzhou. Flight time 11 hours and 12 minutes. The airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in October 2009. Slowly but surely drifting towards the runway. Rick has to go. Thanks for joining, Rick. Until the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, buddy. And indeed, Liwe, time flies when you're having none. Thank you so much for your continued support, Liwe. Has it been 6 months already? time does indeed fly. Alright, and Jonna is giving us an update of the runway usage. 18 right, 18C for landing, 18 left and 24 for departure. I will update that after this airplane has landed. That is good news, means that all traffic from the west will be coming to this runway again. So we are, after all, likely going to see Yunus's arrival from Seattle on Delta later this morning. What time is he landing? So it's basically back to the configuration we've had for weeks on end now. Alright, I think what hearing I got left just got obliterated. Okay, well, we have an Embraer 190 coming in. I'm pretty sure we'll see more airplanes shortly after that. Let me first dive into the computer, update the runway usage. Okay, well, it's definitely an eventful day. Just updated the runway usage. Embraer 190 coming in. Is it choc-ky? It is coming in from Aalborg. It is a regular German Airways Embraer 190 flying for KLM, KL flight 1330. Crabbing, but crabbing to the right or to the left. They are crabbing to the left. We are looking the airplane being pointed more to the right. We are watching the airplane being pointed more to the right. My English is suffering from all the switching. Or at least that's my excuse. Has the sunglasses on. And I Love Planes says that the A380 is in Serbian airspace. Thank you for the update. Nice and warm, kitty on your lap. I always try to put my cat on my lap, but then he just walks off and goes lie directly next to me. Jillard, goedemorgen. So, Cargolux 747 expected in 20 minutes. And if the runway configuration is what it is, we should be able to see it coming from the west. So Lurk, good to see you. Good morning. Hope all is well. Rosa, goedemorgen. All right, well. Oh, that's also Nice. Can we see the triple turning coming this way? Oh, and I do see a contrail coming our way. Is that a quad engine? So much to see all of a sudden. No, that looks like a twin. But I'm trying to see the United Dreamliner to Chicago, which is turning to the west over the city of, well, west, just east of the city of Amsterdam. And it's not that high already. I'm scanning visually to see where it might be. Do see the next airplane taking off from runway 09. Is that an A330? I'm also looking to the left to see if I'm seeing that other airplane come back. Because I think if I would know where to point the camera, I would be able to show you guys. Now I'm flying over the north of Zaandam. Well, maybe the clouds are in the way. It should be somewhere over here in this part of the sky. I'm just not seeing it yet. Oh! Thanks for that update, Aphrodite. In that case, I am not going to be able to film the arrival of Yunus. 2:30, nearly 2:30 is going to be too late for me. I am going to wrap it up after the A380 has landed. Oh, that's a pity, man. Well, I'm not seeing the United Dreamliner. And there is an A319 that looks like it is on the glide slope to center. Let's have another look at that contrail that is coming directly towards me. Where did I see it? There it is. Oh, and Russel is right behind me on the lantern. Now this airplane is moving east to west and maybe a little bit to the north. Mostly east to west. It is still east of me, as you guys can see. Twin jet will be passing maybe just a little north of me. Do see an Embraer 190 on the glide slope to center. Nice reflection of the sun on the airplane. More reflections. Getting close to the locking point of my tripod. When I'm 90 degrees up, it will halt all of a sudden. It's flying immediately over me. And there it is, the locking point. My camera is pointing directly up. My phone behind my camera is pointing down to the ground, so I wasn't able to read your messages in the meantime. Russell over here making a little noise. Oh no, yeah, it is Russell. For a brief moment I thought it might have been a pigeon, but alright. Got a few airplanes going to center right now. The next airplane to arrive on Polderbaan is turning onto the glide slope. Embraer 175 arriving from Southampton, being followed by the A321neo from Air Transat arriving from Montreal. In the meantime, let's have a look at some closer by airplanes. There we go. This would be Austrian flight 379 arriving from Vienna. A320 flight time 1.5 hours and 2 minutes. The airplane is 10 years old, first flight September 2013. Always nice to see how the word servus is at the bottom of these airplanes. A greeting used in Austria and in the south of Germany. Basically means hi. More duckies further to the south. Hey Joe, goedemorgen. Jazeker, met jou ook. Mooi man. Hey Madeira Aviation, good morning. Peter says I will be departing with TUI on November 5th, 11:25. Who knows, you might be streaming as well. Could be, I don't know from the top of my head what day November 5th is going to be. Now I do believe that the first airplanes are coming to the Polderbaan. KL 916 Embraer 175 arriving from Southampton, I think is this one. Yeah, that looks like the first airplane. Got some more coming. The A321neo from Air Transat behind it. I think the clouds are still a bit in the way though. The lights have gone on. And oh, Cargolux is approaching the coast. I'm already having a look to see if maybe we can see it. It is at 6,000 feet and descending, now turning downwind. I think I should be able to pick it up from over here. I got it. Now the clouds are still interfering. Let me see. There it is. That is a sneak preview of the Cargolux 747, or is it? Am I filming a different airplane accidentally? Let's have a quick look at the bigger screen. Yeah, no, that is the Queen, isn't it? Just having turned base downwind. Air Transat up next. 777 arriving from Vancouver behind it, and yeah, you can see it clearing the clouds just now. Little left of center. Yellow is informing us that the the Orange Pride is expected in an hour. And what a nice glide slope shot, eh? Alrighty, Air Transat A321 Neo, arriving from Montreal, flight 324. Canadian butt shot coming in. Bit more to the left. There you go. There you go. There she is. Right. No time to linger. KLM flight 682 up next, arriving from Vancouver. 777-300 ER, flight time 8 hours 25 minutes. This airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in May 2016. Hey Recon, goedemorgen, good morning. Doing fine over here. The sun is getting out from behind the clouds. The clouds look to be dissolving. It's opening up more and more. The wind is a bit chilly, more chilly than we had yesterday and the day before. But that's okay, it is autumn after all. It does look a bit more cloudy looking to the southeast, as you guys can see. Those are the last remnants of clouds that are visible, well, at least contiguous clouds, I should say, because over here to the west it is mostly open, and closer by it is also open looking to the south. To the east also looks nice. Few more clouds over when you look to the north, but right, in the meantime, there is a small airplane landing on Schiphol Oostbaan. Just trying to see. Let's see, can we pick that up quickly? Oh, that's a little BizJet. Saw an icon of what looked like turboprops. Right, let's focus back to what is coming to the Polderbaan. Thought I saw a second airplane earlier, but it looks like... Oh wait, yeah. The Queen in between the clouds, showing herself again. In the foreground, 737-800 from KLM arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, which I'm not going to follow extensively. Just watch the touchdown. as Her Majesty is coming closer by. Oh, we're missing out on a wheelie. Just a little one. Back to the business at hand. Cargolux special livery 7478 arriving from Miami, Florida. The not without my mask livery. Behind it, a triple. The Cargolux 7478 has been flying now for 8 hours and 12 minutes for this flight and has been flying for 11 years in total. Began its career in August 2012. Hey, Yorkshire biker, good morning Paul, good to see you. What a timing. We don't get to see this one every day. And it's always nicer to see it live than on the rerun. What a morning it has been thus far. We began with departures, now arrivals, and what an arrival. That is thumbnail material. Now, if you like that, make sure to give the show a like, and also if you wanna keep getting updates of when I go live in the future, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Beautifully illuminated by the sun as well. Cargolux, not without my mask. From days gone by when we had to wear them all day. So glad that is no longer the case. Now, no time to linger. Got a 777 up next. KLM flight 736 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. 777-300 ER. This airplane a bit younger. Well, almost the same age. 8-year-old airplane. Hey Berend, goedemorgen. Very short clips, goedemorgen. Thanks for the kind words, buddy. Well, beautiful. Now it is Neo time. First up, Pegasus, arriving from Istanbul, A321 Neo. After that, we are going to see an EasyJet arriving from London Gatwick, which is going to be an A320 Neo. And all of a sudden, I smell just jet exhaust fumes. It smells like A1 here. Of course, wind blowing from the east, you get that. The fumes get blown into this direction. Normally, the prevailing wind is west or southwesterly. So the exhaust gas fumes get blown away from me as a viewer over here on this side of the runway. Hey, ciao Luca, buongiorno. And Andy wants to show the ducks wants me to show the ducks. Well, they are further out, doing a little bit of grazing over there. One butt shot and another butt shot. Plenty of butt shots. Well, we've seen worse not too long ago. More R-rated content. Not today. Hopefully they'll behave. Wow, what a pleasant surprise. Turns out that the A321neo can be quite loud when the reversers are being fully applied. Beautiful. I was happily surprised by that. H-Man asks how many go-arounds so far? 0. Exactly 0. EasyJet A320neo up next, arrival from London Gatwick. Flight time thus far 42 minutes, and the neo is brand new. This time round it is brand new. First flight was in July this year. Still under warranty. Embraer 190 arriving from Basel up next, and is that? No, that's a regular German Airways. Hey Yunus! You were... Oh man, you were earlier! Dude! I thought you were coming in on the flight from Seattle, but you took an earlier flight and have already landed. And again Aurora on the way. The last minute butt shot there, briefly. Well, Yunus, if you're in the area, you can always bother me with some nice Aurora pictures. The last time you showed me your pictures that you took on board, they were splendid, man. You're so lucky to be able to capture Aurora again. I mean, you don't get to see that on every flight. I'm not jealous. Right, German Airways, the normal one, not the choc-ky. Not choc-ky, it is KLM flight 1986 arriving from Basel. The airplane is 16 years old. Is Captain Willie on board? Nah, this was first officer Willie, who is still a bit more junior. Wow. If you zoom in, it looks like, oh man, is it one of those gloomy Dutch days again? But then when you zoom out and you see that it is just in the distance and the sky over here is mostly blue, it doesn't look so bad. Alright. Transavia 737 arriving from Malaga up first. Number 2 is going to be a Delta A330 arriving from Detroit, which is already visible. Oh, an airplane following without image stabilizer on and without significant wind is so much better. Oh, Eunice, you're making everybody jealous. Ross didn't see any aurora on the September flight from Vancouver, so you are one lucky let's keep it family friendly. You're welcome, Avi. Thank you for liking it. Hope everybody is. This is Delta Airlines Flight 136 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. It is an Airbus A330-300. Flight time has been 7 hours and 10 minutes thus far. This airplane is 16 years old. First flight was in August 2007. Now, they do have the potential to get loud. Let's see if we are going to see wheelies and or hear significant loudness by the reversers. Just a little wheelie, it seems like. But that Pegasus A321neo from not too long ago was very loud. Was positively surprised by how loud they are, because normally they are very quiet, but when applying the reversers in full, a bit more noisy. Oh, no bird controller in the vicinity. And away they go. Well, they're gone for good, it seems like. We do get to see a flyby information. Come on, there you go. Never lose track of your wingman. Everybody who has ever watched Top Gun knows that. That was a tiny little 737-700 arriving from Billund. Indeed, Lance, expedite, make room for the bigger birds. Well, we're not going to see a very big bird, but definitely this bird is bigger than the duckies. KLM flight 1534 arriving from Darlington, or Teesside as it is now being called on flight radar, in flight radar I should say. Embraer 175, flight time 41 minutes. There is an Embraer 190 not too far away, approaching from the other side. There we go. arriving from Aberdeen, and number 3 behind it. I'm not sure if we are going to be able to see it already because the clouds might be in the way. 737 arriving from Helsinki. First, let's have a look at the landing of this Embraer. Looks like a beautiful sunny day when you look in this direction. A little bit of yawing. Now also and now zooming in, you only see the grey in the distance. That is in the sky in the southeast from over here. But it is further away. In the meantime, it is getting a bit more busy over here. As you guys can see, more people in the distance. You can also see a lot of people already standing along the fence of the main parking place of the Spottersplaats. It is a nice Sunday after all. And frequent viewers will know that a lot of people like to come out here whenever the weather is favorable. Make it a day out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, choc-ky is coming. German light for Embraer 190 arriving from Aberdeen. Flight 1442 flying for KLM. Short flight, 57 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old. Just as old as the 777-300ER, the PHBVA. Hey, Captain Eddie Bos, good evening. Good to see you again. Hope all is well over there in Indonesia. Now, this Embraer is just as old as the Orange Pride 777. Both are 15 years old. Both had their first flight in January of the year 2008. Also looks like it is ready to rob a bank or go to a costume party dressed as a raccoon. Chocolate. Merci dat jij er bent, indeed Danny. Igor, Privet, tuning in from Russia, welcome. Why do I always have to think of Peggy Bundy sitting on the couch having bonbons and what was it, watching Jerry Springer or something? There was always this program that she used to watch in Married with Children. A program that would have been removed from TV after the first episode in this day and age, but was on regular TV in my youth at least. This is the only airplane in the fleet, or so I've been told, still in the penultimate livery, the old one with the straight stripe between the blue at the top and the white at the bottom. The penultimate iteration, the last iteration of course, the curve, whale, smile, whatever you would like to call it look. Oprah! That was it, thank you Dirk. Not Jerry Springer, Oprah. Oh man, what a good series it was. Still sometimes look at some of the best of videos on YouTube. This is KLM flight 604 arriving from LAX, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. Flight time has been 9 hours and 45 minutes thus far. Brand new airplane, began flying in May of this year. Nice, nice. All right, well. Got an Embraer 190 in between, and then it is time for more heavies. Another 777-300 arriving from Panama City is going to be number 2. And it looks like Delta Airlines A330 will be number 3. Hey, yeah, saw a little focus dance. Still have my focus on auto, got it back to manual. Oh wait, there it is. Oh, thank you for that update, Ramkas Place. Turkish retro livery A330 also coming this way. And indeed, Alan, I think what we saw just now was the best wheelie we've seen today thus far. Not sure what we might still get to see, but for now that definitely was the biggest one. Lovely visualization of the glide slope. Don't you just love this glide slope shot? What a glide slope shot. Alrighty, Embraer 190 coming in from Berlin. Regular KLM, Embraer 190, flight 1820. Flight time no longer mentioned. I was too late with pressing on the label, but typically it is around an hour or so. This airplane, 9 years old, had its first flight in January 2014. Captain Lee definitely not on board this airplane. At least not in the cockpit as the pilot flying. I think the clouds are still obscuring the A330. Normally we would have been able to see it already. The number now, number 2. However, the now number 1 is visible. And Dr. Zoid Dusty, good morning. Well, good afternoon, I should say. Over here. And there is the A330. Has cleared the clouds. This is KLM flight 758 arriving from Panama City, 777-300 ER. Left Panama 9 hours and 52 minutes ago. The airplane is 11 years old. First flight of this airplane was in June 2012. Right, next up, Delta Airlines flight 162, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Airbus A330-300. Flight time thus far has been 7 hours and 46 minutes. The airplane is 8 years old, first flight June 2015. Yet another A330 with the potential to get loud. As you guys can see, the airplanes are pointing a little bit differently than what we are used to from this point of view. That has to do with the wind being from the east today instead of from the west or southwest, which is the more prevalent wind direction. Means that they are crabbing, but they are pointing their nose to the other side, away from us. Normally We look them straight in the eye, and now they're looking away from us. They're ignoring us, it looks like. Let's have a look and listen. Another really and loud landing potentially. Well, the wheelie we did get to see, although it wasn't the longest. But so much noise potential left unused. Pity. Next up, an airplane of an entirely different magnitude, a different size. KLM Flight 1186 arriving from Bergen, Boeing 737-700. This airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in November 2009. And after that, a couple of Embraers. Embraer 190 will be number 2, visible already in the top left quadrant. Embraer 175 arriving from Leeds is turning onto the glide slope from the left, and I'm not seeing it yet. Not sure. I think the clouds are obscuring the view, unfortunately. Now I'm also hearing an airplane pass over. That would be Finnair A330-300 going to Helsinki. There's the Finnair A330-300 going back to Helsinki. Having taken off from runway 24 just now. Looking around, I'm not seeing any other contrails in the immediate vicinity. We do see the next airplane that is due to land on the Polderbaan. Alright, Paul has to go. Thank you for joining, Paul. Enjoy the rest of your day. Got another bank robber look, Embraer 190 coming this way. So that is German Airways flying for KLM as flight 1060. Arriving from Cardiff, short flight, 57 minutes, and this Embraer 2, as old as choc-ky, 15 years, first flight January 2008. It looks like a butt shot is coming in. Taking the first exit. There you go. Spoilers were already lowered. Can we see the flaps retract before the right hand turn? That I'm not yet seeing. Do see the 737 in the background already taxiing back to the main platform area. which, if you're unfamiliar with the layout of Schiphol Airport, is still quite a far way out. We have a dedicated ATC control tower over here, just because this runway is so far away removed from the main platform area. Got the original ATC control tower, and the platform with all the gates and the terminal building lie over there. So that is a 10 to 15 minute taxi still for airplanes landing over here. And Bro 175 arriving from Leeds up next. And this line of trees is along the taxiway back to the main platform area. You can see the airplanes over there, but that is being zoomed in quite a bit. As you guys can see, pretty far off. Alright, center has closed, that's good news. Meaning all inbound traffic is now coming to the Polderbaan. Let's do a quick update of the ticker then. That is good news. Now, if they only closed the center runway just now and it is 12:15 already, does that mean then that the A380 might be going to this runway today? Could that be it? This is Transavia flight 6332 737-800 arriving from Valencia. Hey Pepi, servus. Alright. Got another Shamrock coming in, flight 604 arriving from Dublin. Airbus A320. Flight time has been 59 minutes thus far. The airplane is 18 years old. First flight was in April 2005. Vueling A320 will be up next after that. Although I am not yet able to see it. So even though it is mostly sunny, the clouds are still interfering somewhat. Now having a perfectly unobstructed view to the north. And there it is, the second A320 in the middle of the screen. We can even see the landing gear extend.
Klassieke magic trick.
Alright, and there is a Corendon 737 that is now flying over the city of Amsterdam. Interesting. Still at 6,800 feet. will probably be directed to the north in a moment. To fly downwind and land on this runway. And Aphrodite, thank you for the update. The A380 from Dubai just entered German airspace. Is it the standard livery today or? Alrighty, next up, Transavia Flight 51. No, that's the outbound airplane that you also are hearing. This is Welling Flight 8309 coming next. A320 arriving from Barcelona. Flight time thus far 2 hours and 5 minutes. The airplane is 5 years old. First flight April 2018. Okay, thank you Aphrodite, standard livery. Blackburst, good morning. Piotr, good morning. Or good afternoon, it is afternoon after all. Hey, Jendrosek standing next to me. Hey, good morning. Well, good afternoon. I keep saying good morning, but it is already 20 past 12. Little tippy-toey, but otherwise now, if you just tuned in, you might be inclined to think that the weather is bad today, but it is only the clouds in the southeastern part of the sky that are making it gray. This is what it looks like to the south, to the east, and back to the north. Particularly to the north, it looks alright. Burst controller is looking like doing a little round, or oh, is that even? It's not the standard pickup truck. Got another airplane departing over here. E2 Embraer 195 going to Oslo.
Behind you.
Ah, K2 is passing by the bird controller. And yeah, a bit difficult to find the airplane with those small clouds. K2 over here patrolling. And all the while Icelandair also coming. Now the nice thing about Icelandair is that they send different airplane types over to Amsterdam. We saw the 100 years independence special livery 757 a few days ago. We saw the 767, if I recall correctly, yesterday. Here we have another pencil coming in. Icelandair flight 500, 757-300. This particular one, 21 years old, first flight February 2002. Old school. And beautiful lighting. All right. More narrow bodies are coming. Air Canada Dreamliner is coming. The second Icelandair is also coming, so it does seem like a regular planning that they send over 2 airplanes to Amsterdam within the time span of half an hour. The next airplane from Icelandair is going to be a MAX 8. The Corendon 737 is also approaching the glide slope from the east. Let's see, 2 airplanes. And the bird controller setting off some fireworks over to the north. We should hopefully, yeah, the third airplane in the center. Well, now the clouds are obscuring it a little bit, but there you go. Now at 7 o'clock of number 2. The Corendon 737 turning onto the glide slope. Jerry, where are you? Beautiful glide slope shots, mate. Right, the first airplane to land is from EasyJet, arriving from Basel. A320. This airplane is 12 years old. First flight March 2011. And that was A1. An authority vehicle of some sorts. Hey, it almost looks like the clouds are getting closer by. That is odd. I thought that we were having, well, if the wind is has changed a bit southeasterly. Let's have a quick look at the METAR. Haven't updated that recently. Alright, wind from 100 degrees, so it has turned a little bit more to the south. So that would explain still in the process of copy pasting the latest METAR. Umbrella 190 SkyTeam livery arriving from Newcastle. Alright, well, got the latest METAR in the ticker. 8 knot wind from 100 degrees, variable between 070 and 140. Few clouds at 1,600 feet. On ground level, still visibility 10 kilometers or more. Air pressure relatively high, 1,026 hectopascals. Corendon 737 about to land. The nets are already out, Lieve. There should be some eel in it by now. So all you have to do is just pick it up. The nets are here waiting for you. Not sure if something is in it already. A bit hard to assess. Yeah, the sun has gone and it has to do with clouds moving in from the south. So even though it looks sunny to the north, We're actually standing in the shade over here. This is Air Canada, flight 7878 Dreamliner arriving from Montreal. 6 hours and 12 minutes underway thus far. The airplane is 9 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in August of the year 2014. The sun is still shining where the airplane is right now. Alright, well, aren't we also still expecting the Orange Pride? Will we be seeing more 747s before the A380? Also something I'm wondering. Hey Joppie Joppie, goedemiddag. Right, 3 airplanes on the glide slope as we speak. 737 arriving from Milan, KLM in the foreground.
Half an hour ago there was a Kalita
Yeah.
scheduled.
And are there more coming?
Not that I know.
Okay. Well, we did see a lot of 747s earlier in the past few days, so... And Leon is saying that the Orange Pride is expected in 11 minutes. Thank you for that update.
My favorite plane.
So... 737 arriving from Milan up first. Lot Embraer 190 arriving from Warsaw up next. Icelandair Max 8 number 3. And KLM arriving from Genoa, Embraer 175 number 4. In the meantime, the sun also stopped shining on the northern part of the runway. Still gives that nice reflection on the blue top half. That is nice. And 400 likes, nice. Thank you all so much. Glad you guys are enjoying. Obviously that's the most important thing. Have a good time enjoying the airplanes over here. And the lot Embraer. The next airplane. I'm also looking, Joppie Joppie says Orange Pride is just before the coast. Oh yeah, I see it is arriving. Now, maybe it is coming, it is flying directly towards me. So maybe, just maybe, I might be able to pick it up like I did with the 747 earlier. In the meantime, hey, welcome to the new members from JD, who was so kind to once more gift 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much, JD. Really above and beyond you're going there. Thank you so much, JD. And indeed, welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, the 5 new members who were gifted a membership by none other than JD. Now, yesterday too, a lot of new members were added. Unfortunately, also a few memberships expired, so the sum was not enough for a new emoji. I'm hoping that maybe when I come home after today, there's room for another new emoji. So I haven't yet been able to add a new one to the repertoire, but I'm hoping very soon we might be able to. Let's have a look. Orange Pride 777 is turning to the northwest of me. Just having a look. Also trying not to lose sight of the airplanes landing over here. Icelandair Max 8 arriving from Reykjavik. Okay, fair play. What it lacks in originality in the livery, it makes up for with some additional reverse thrust noise. That's a good deal. It was loud, so that was not too bad. Redek 99, thank you so much for just becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Well, let's have a look. It is getting more overcast. We started out with overcast conditions, but now it is becoming ever more dark looking to the south, and it is moving to the north, the cloudiness. Often it looks gloomy looking to the north, and it looks better when you look to the south. Today it is opposite day. Ruben, thank you for the update. Emirates A380 expected in 49 minutes. Yeah. Exciting to see if it is going to be landing on Polderbaan or if they do reopen the center runway around 1 o'clock. It probably will. It looks like runway usage has gone back to what it was and has been for the last weeks now. Based on that, I'm thinking center will open as secondary runway for arrivals around 1 p.m. Just under half an hour. In the meantime, a little butt shot coming in. Right, so the Orange Pride is turning base, and I'm just curious to see, can we see it already? Let's scan the sky, shall we? Is that it? I think it is. I think we have him. Yeah, it does look a bit orangey in the front. That is the PHBVA having turned base. I lost it. Where did it go? Oh wait, there it is. Flying through the clouds. Or at least the clouds are probably in between. But it is the PHBVA, it is flying base. Now I'm not going to follow it until it has landed, because there's a 777 before it arriving from Lima that I am intending to capture next. But just to show you where it is in the sky right now. Yeah, that is zoom.
Gonna land on the this one.
This one, excellent. So we're going to see it up close. Yeah, Polderbaan, fantastic. Confirmation that it is going to land over here. Perfect.
My favorite aircraft.
Yeah, I think most people in the chat like it as well. It's a very beautiful, distinct color combination, the blue and orange.
KLM said, no, we're gonna repaint it back to blue, but they said this year. Well, I don't think so.
They should make more orange instead. All right, first up, EasyJet. Got an E2 Embraer 195 from KLM. Up next. If you're wondering what you're hearing, that is a little girl on her tricycle passing by, and she's ringing her bell. Oh no, it's a regular bicycle, but with oh, what's the English translation for zijwieltjes? Still a little young girl.
Support wheels.
Support wheels. Thank you. I think all Dutchies have learned to ride a bicycle with support wheels as we were small. And then mommy or daddy at some point walking behind us, preventing us from falling over. First time without the support wheels. That's how we all learn over here in the Netherlands. This is KLM flight 1354 arriving from Prague, the Czech Republic. Beautiful, big engined E2 Embraer 195. And we have the Moped Club passing by on the cycling path. Training wheels is what they're called in the United States. Okay, learn something new every day. Thanks for that. The B52 has support wheels as well. Well, what do you think about the, what is it, the B1? That's the what is it, the U2 or that spy plane? Has support wheels that fall off as soon as it leaves the ground. What is it? The U2 or the B1? No, that's a bomber.
B2 is a bomber.
B2 is also a bomber. B1 maybe from Basti and Adriaan. No, that was B2 as well. U2. Right, so U2 the band and U2 the spy plane with the support wheels. This is KLM flight 644. It has a firm landing gear. 777-300ER arriving from Lima in Peru. Flight time no longer mentioned, but rest assured it is approaching 12 hours. If not a little more. Hey Peter, tuning in all the way from South Africa. Nice to see you again. Wishing you were here. Well, if you are going to come over, do bring some sunshine from South Africa along. Right, 11 hours and 44 minutes. Thank you, Aphrodite. I still have that bug in my Android app of Flight Radar that whenever I press on the label, oh, thank you. Whenever I press on the label too late, so too shortly before landing, I no longer get to see the flight time. This, however, is the PHBVA. We all know and recognize it. Flying today is KLM flight 622 777-300ER. Has been flying now for 7 hours and 47 minutes, so 747. The PHBVA Orange Pride, 15 years old, first flight January 2008, same age as choc-ky, the Lijstiever Chocolaterie Embraer 190. Beautiful. Although it would have been nice if we got to hear the reversers a little bit, but that was definitely not disappointing. Now, more triples are coming, more heavies are coming in general. We've got a few Embraers coming up next, 737, well, two 737s by the looks of it. Aero Mexico flight 25 is already approaching. 777 arriving from Guayaquil is also coming this way. Plus an A330 from Delta arriving from Portland, which I think I have already in sight. There's the Delta A330 arriving from PDX, Jerry's home base. Flying downwind. And in the meantime, beautiful glide slope shot over here. Now, if there's one person who shouldn't be gifting memberships because he is supporting the channel more than enough as it is already, it is Yorkshire Biker. But Paul, thank you so much for a totally unnecessary but very much appreciated gift. 5 memberships, and congratulations to those 5 new AMS Live members. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, folks. A big thank you to Yorkshire Biker. Thank you, Paul. Absolutely not necessary. If there is one moderator who is almost always there, it is you. So that is more than enough support, man. Thank you. But you're doing more than enough as it is. Now, I think I have to go back to the ticker because I see that airplanes are now also lining up for the center runway. So 18C once again has reopened 1:45. So yeah. The A380 never stood a chance. However, we're still going to see it. And if you haven't done so already, drop a like. The more the merrier. Helps feed the algorithm. Although I already hate my guts for saying it. It is how it works. And particularly if other people who might also be interested in content like this want to discover the channel, your help will greatly help. E2 Embraer 195. With just a little bit of reverse thrust. And otherwise, stereotypical KLM landing. Keeping up the speed. It will vacate late so that it is soon to the gate. Hey, Austrian Wolf, servus. Did I miss your arrival, or it is sometimes a bit confusing? Did I say hi to all people in the chat already or not? I'm probably regularly forgetting to greet people, and apologies for that. Three airplanes visible. If you look in the bottom left corner, you can see the 3rd, or is that maybe already the 4th airplane? I think the 3rd. So, well, it is getting more cloudy from the south over here. The north looks like it is opening up ever more. KLM 737-800 arriving from Rome. And indeed, Aphrodite center open again. The first airplane going to center over here. It should be a Transavia to Zakynthos, but it looks like it is a lease from ETF. Alright, Killer Spieler has to go. See you later, alligator. Thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And indeed, Austrian Wolf, I'm going to stick around until the A380 has landed, and after that I'm going to vamos out of here. This is Vueling flight 8353, arriving from Valencia, Airbus A320, Left Valencia 2 hours and 8 minutes ago. The airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in November 2007. So yeah, what started out as a morning of departures, after an hour and a half or so, quickly became yet another day of arrivals. No, Liwa, I'm not going to wait for the SR71. I'm going to wait for an eternity if I have to do that. That is a bit too long for me. I did make a deal with the devil for eternal youth in exchange for my soul, but that does not mean I have eternal patience. Flying AMS Live logo coming in. Aero Mexico Flight 25, arrival from Mexico City. Standard livery today, not the Quetzalcoatl, which is still one of my favorites. The Boeing 7879 Dreamliner has been flying now for 9 hours and 51 minutes. It is 5 years old. United States registered. Okay, interesting. It is an N registration. 5 years old, first flight May 2018. Loud. That was nice to hear. Alan just landed on the Orange Pride. Welcome to the Netherlands, buddy. We could see everyone spotting. Yeah, it is also quite crowded here today. So you definitely picked a right time to come in. Ah, thanks for the information, Redek. Delta has a large stake in Aero Mexico, that is why the reg is US. So, on that note, how is it possible that so many of the EasyJet airplanes are Austrian registered, OE? Also something I've been wondering. Does anybody know? Why is that? A lot of them have the G registration, the British registration, but also OE. Right, let's not linger too long on what is coming to center, because there is a 777 arriving from Ecuador, Guayaquil, 777-200 ER, KLM flight 751. This airplane is 20 years old already, ladies and gentlemen. Began flying in September 2003. Oh, that's interesting, Leon. So, don't know about the reg, but those are called Alpine by ATC instead of Easy. I didn't know that Austria was also a... Okay, EasyJet Europe is then, I'm assuming, seated in Austria. Hey, Misam Sky Team, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Let's turn around. We've got a Delta A330 that is coming in from Portland. PDX, Portland, Oregon. Delta Flight 178, Airbus A330-300. Also 20 years old. First flight of this airplane, September 2003. Flight time thus far, 9.5 hours nearly. 9 hours, 28 minutes. And we are hearing airplanes take off and fly to the north, but no longer able to see them anymore. It is getting more clouded over here, and the southern half of my sky here is already overcast, which is a pity. Change in the weather and change in runway usage today. Welcome to the Netjets. Right, I hope your speakers and your eardrums are still functioning. Without a doubt, the loudest landing to date for today. 10 out of 10, indeed, Austrian Wolf. Holy moly, that was nice. All right. Now, where's that A380? It is flying over Germany.
In a half an hour, it's...
Yeah. Can see it indeed, it is in the vicinity. It's flying towards Münster, so it is underway. Plenty more before that. Martin, goedemiddag. Right, another Vueling A320 up next. Flight 1377 arriving from Alicante, and we do also see another airplane further out. Are we seeing more? I think it's just the two right now, at least that I can so quickly see. Flight 1377 arriving from Alicante. Flight time 2.5 hours. The airplane is 16 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in March 2007. Oh, there goes one of my rubber bands. They do wear quickly. And indeed, the monster is over Munster. The monster is over Münster. Departure from Delta? No, Air Canada going back to Toronto. Taking off from runway 24. Parallel arrivals. We had parallel departures in the beginning of the stream, and now parallel arrivals. This is a regular Transavia arriving from Alicante. Up next on this runway where we are standing next to will be Top Air Portugal A319 arriving from Lisbon, which is also getting closer by. Let's have another look. There it is. Top left, next airplane after that. A321 Air France arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Right, Top Air Portugal. Flight 674 A319, 23 years old, this airplane. Started flying just before the millennium change, November 1999. I think I was, no, yeah, 17 back then. I still remember the New Year's Eve, the year 2000, 1999 to 2000, New Year's Eve vividly. Was a good party back then. But just 2 months before that party, this airplane already began flying. Hey Nelly, goedemiddag. Good to see you. Also doing a little bit of rehydration. Gotta keep track of your fluid intake even when it isn't very warm. Air France A321 flight 1640 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Typical flight time 40 to 45 minutes. This airplane, 21 years old, began flying in December of the year 2001. So a bit younger than the previous airplane, but still considerable age for an airplane. Okay, now looking on flight radar, it seems like we will have to wait a little bit before the next traffic is coming to the Polderbaan. Several airplanes going to center, including a 777 arriving from Shanghai. First up, this A320neo from EasyJet is arriving from Milan. It is flight 23853. And this is one of the Alpines then, Austrian registration. The airplane is a year old. Began flying in July of the year 2022. Philippopoulos is saying that the retro Turkish A330 is also going to center. That is a pity, although as you guys can see from over here with the zoom this camera has, we are still able to capture details on the livery from over here, but not the same as when it lands right in front of you, of course. While we're still waiting, there is still plenty of traffic going to the center runway. The next airplane will be this Embraer 175 from KLM, flight 1766, arriving from Frankfurt. This airplane left Frankfurt 46 minutes ago. So there you go. London is a shorter flight than Frankfurt, although for me intuitively it feels like London is further away than Frankfurt, but assuming this airplane hasn't taken a ginormous detour, and flights from London to Amsterdam also don't take the scenic route, then Frankfurt is a bit further away. The airplane is 6 years old. First flight was in July 2017. Embraer 190 from Glasgow coming in after this airplane. Let me also have a look. That 777 is going to be after that, so second airplane after this Embraer. And Ramcos Place is informing us that the Bombardier Global 6000 might come to the Polderbaan from the west. Not sure if that is going to happen. Well, Let's think. Landing on runway 22 would be, of course, nearest by the general aviation part of the platform, but the wind is blowing in an opposite direction. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think there's a big chance. In fact, now that I think about it a little longer. K2. Not sure if it is using the opportunity or maybe if traffic got directed to a different runway, but looked like it was doing a little bit of an inspection. Here's the Embraer 190 arriving from Glasgow. Behind it is going to be a 777 and that is already quite well visible. Overshot it, bit back. Still flying in the sunshine. Over here, we are standing here in the shade. Okay, Nozzle Kingdom debunks the hopes that we might have had of seeing the BizJet. It has been assigned to center. Okay. Let's do a quick double check of the runways in use right now. See that they're not pulling the same joke as they did yesterday, temporarily closing the Polderbaan. I was halfway to my car when I had a look and I saw the first airplanes getting assigned to land on the Polderbaan once again. They duped me, or at least I got duped. Fool me once, shame on me. But they're not going to fool me twice, hopefully. Yeah, Polderbaan still open, so just need a bit more patience. In the meantime, this is China Cargo Airlines Flight 205 777 arriving from Shanghai. 777 freighter. This airplane has flown 10 hours and 39 minutes on this flight thus far. In total, it has been flying for 13 years now. Started its career as a professional airplane, I should say, in January 2010. Still 2 runways open for departures and 2 are open for arrivals. Good morning, James Williams. Good to see you. Hope all is well, not only with you but with everybody. We're waiting for traffic to come to Polderbaan. For now, the traffic mostly seems to be going to runway center. You might pick up the sound of an SAS A320 that is passing over us, but unfortunately, looking up, the clouds are in the way. Hey Danny, goedenamiddag. Indeed, better late than never. Alright, it's 1 AM over where Jinshin is living. So he's going to bed. Thanks for tuning in, Jin. Sleep tight. See you next week. Enjoy the rest of your week in the meantime. Embraer 190 arriving from Aberdeen. KLM flight 1444. Flight time has been 59 minutes so far for this flight. The airplane itself, 5 years old, first flight February 2018. Alright, official confirmation that the A380 goes to center. Thank you, Remco. Doesn't come as a surprise, but it is nice to have confirmation. At least we'll know for sure. Right. Got a ton of traffic coming in, but it is all going to center thus far. Here is the next airplane to arrive. Air France Embraer 170, Air France Op, arriving from Marseille. Air France flight 1820 officially. Flight time has been 1 hour and 33 minutes. The airplane is 13 years old. First flight June 2010. Got a 737-800 behind it from Transavia, arriving from Faro, and after that is that BizJet that is arriving from Milan. From Netjets. Pity we don't get to see it up close. Then again, this is a nice angle to see it from the side quite well. All right. Transavia 737-800, flight 5356, arriving from Faro in Portugal. It has taken this airplane 2 hours and 40 minutes to get here from Faro, and the airplane itself, 7 years old, began flying in 2016 in February. Hans almost had a tail strike on the stairs, he says. Was that a near miss? Glad you got a TCAS warning. Pull up, pull up. Well, next up is the BizJet from Netjets. Where is it? There it is. Arriving from Milan. Bombardier Global 6000. Has flown 1 hour and 19 minutes to get here from Milan. The airplane itself, 7 years old. First flight was in December 2015. It's getting awfully quiet over here at the Polderbaan. Looking at the app that shows the current runway usage, it is officially still open. You would be inclined to think otherwise if you just look at how quiet it has become over the last 15 minutes or so. Nice and serene. And following this airplane is going to be an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Hamburg. It's all traffic coming from eastern destinations, or at least, well, not so much eastern, but destinations that are lying east of the Netherlands, I should say. So it is making sense that they are all going to the center runway. Probably just coincidence. This is KLM flight 1870 arriving from Hamburg. E2 Embraer 195. Flight time
5
from
minutes for the A380.
5 minutes until the A380. Thank you so much. It should be coming closer by. Over Markermeer already. Thank you. Sorry?
On the mark.
On the Markermeer. Well, I hope above the Markermeer. Not doing a splashdown.
No, that's...
I would much rather do that on a cruise boat then. At least cruise boats won't sink. The E2 Embraer 195. Not sure if you guys are hearing that. Airplane taking off. You can hear the spooling of what sounds like a big airplane. Is that a 777? What is that? Yeah, it is a 777. 777 to Sao Paulo. Heard it spool up. Let's have a look. Right. Taking off from runway 09. Not sure if you guys... Okay, Aphrodite could also hear it. Excellent. Yeah, I sometimes I wonder what you guys are picking up and what you aren't. And when I listen back, I'm always positively surprised by how much you can pick up with the microphone, provided it is pointing in the right direction. So that is KLM flight 791. We heard it spool up just now. Has left the ground, departing to Sao Paulo. 777-300ER taken off from runway 09. Turning to the right, to the south. The PHBVK, 10 years old, first flight May 2013. Now, Ollie is asking if the A380 is going to center. The answer is yes. And in fact, I think... Let's have a look to the north, shall we? Let's have a look. I do believe I see the A330 preceding the A380, and that is the Turkish Airlines retro livery A330 200 arriving from Istanbul. So that is a nice little entree before the main course gets served. And let's have a little zoom out a little bit and gently.
The A380 is.
Exactly, I'm trying to see, and there it is. There she is, the A380. Having just cleared Purmerend, it is now coming this way.
Handy one is white.
Standard livery, the old standard livery, according to Flight Radar, AMS Live members already have the upgrade to the ribbon tail, new standard livery that has become the new, well, the new standard. Hey Oleg, privet! Just in time. So, Emirates A380, and above it the retro A330 from Turkish, A330 200. On the glide slope already, the A380 is not overshooting but is turning onto the glide slope as we speak.
I just thought for a second it was an Antonov.
Ah!
The Antonov is dead.
The Antonov 124 no longer is among us.
225.
225, yeah. 224 still flies. The big one.
124 is the 6 jet is the...
That's the 25.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, 25.
25. They get confusing.
Yeah. That was my 4 second.
Right, the last two airplanes of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It is a retro livery A330-200 from Turkish. And in its, well, not immediately in its wake, but behind it, the Emirates A380. It has turned final. First, let's have a look and see how much detail we can pick up from over here from this A330-200. So Turkish Airlines, flight 1957, arriving from Istanbul, A330-200 in the retro livery. Flight time thus far 3 hours and 13 minutes. And the airplane itself is already 17 years old. First flight was in March 2006. And you guys can see it is getting ever more cloudy over here. You can see that the airplane itself is also no longer flying in the sunshine, but in the shade already. Bit of a pity, it was such a nice morning. Nice retro livery. Not so retro that it has a black tip nose, as so many retro airplanes do have. But I think they should bring back more retro liveries. What do you guys think? I mean, I much rather have something like this than the newest Icelandair blue and white combination. Looks like the sun is shining a little bit over there, nicely illuminating the livery as it touches down on Dutch soil, albeit on the wrong runway. Right, the last airplane of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Zero clap.
The A380. Emirates flight 147, Airbus A380-800, arrival from Dubai, old standard livery. Flight time today has been a bit longer than normal. 6 hours and 42 minutes instead of the normal 6 hours and 25 to 30 minutes it is usually at this point. The airplane 9 years old, first flight April 2014. The last airplane of the day. And what a morning and afternoon, early afternoon it was. We began with departures, but it quickly became arrivals once again. Got to see a very special Boeing 747-8 which has thumbnail written all over it. Now the actual touchdown we cannot see from over here, but the rollout we can.
I know the reason why it lands always in the center.
Oh yeah?
Less taxi to the gate.
Less taxi to the gate.
Because
That...
if I always go look at Schiphol, I always see the A380 close to the center. So
True, true. The normal schedule is that they also open up the second runway for arrivals just before 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the airplane normally is always 1:15 expected, so it's always only if it's really early. But today too, they opened up the center runway 1:45 again. So even if it had been a quarter or 15 minutes or 30 minutes early, it still would have been too late, unfortunately.
There's a place coming.
Now,
There's a place coming behind you.
I think we're seeing the
Cargolux.
Cargolux 747A take off again. It was a short visit. We saw it land, and the icing on the cake, the very last airplane of the day, is the departure of the 747-8 from runway 24. Let's see how high the clouds are. I think it's going to, yeah, it's already going into the clouds. So
Solo.
that was the icing on the cake. Folks, I am going to wrap it up now.
More icing.
More icing, yeah. Well, not for today, maybe for another show. Let's see. Now folks, hopefully you guys can hear me properly. There were some comments about maybe the microphone not being alright, but everything looks to be alright over here. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I am going to wrap it up now. Thank you all so much for joining me here. Looking to see you again on the next one, which is probably going to be on Thursday, weather permitting. Always under the condition of weather permitting. Thanks to everyone for joining me. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you do and did and haven't done so already, then drop a like. And thanks to everyone for supporting me in any way possible. Your support means the world to me. Without your support, this channel wouldn't be anything. So thank you all so much for that. Everyone who donated memberships or become a member themselves, or maybe donated a super chat or super sticker. Thank you all so much. I look forward to seeing you again on the next one. Again, weather permitting, it's going to be on Thursday. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. If you're going to watch Formula 1, have fun. See you on the next one. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. Take care and speak soon. Bye bye.